What's up guys, my name is Gwen and welcome back to another Lord's Mobile Guide. So today I'm actually going to be explaining why gathering and resource production is the most important thing in the game. So a lot of different resources are scarce, such as ore and gold. So if you go to the kingdom map here, you can see this red icon on the left hand side. So if you click that, you can see your armies that you have out. So right now I have a bunch of my armies gathering. So this rich vein right here, I want to talk about this one real quick. It has 945,000 ore in it, and it's only taking me 45 more minutes to continue gathering. So whenever I first started gathering, it would take me like an hour and 20 to complete this rich vein, to complete the gathering. So let's say I was out gathering all night, like I stayed up all night just to gather, or let's say you have a bot that you use. I don't encourage the use of bots, so let's just say that you were up all night, right? You were up all night gathering. You would have so many resources, kind of like how I have now in your what's it called, in your storage. That's what it's called. I almost said in your bag, but it's not in your bag, it's in your storage. You'd have so many resources in your storage like I have now, and you would be able to use it for so many different upgrades. But no, just a note, if it ever gets to yellow on the side here, that means you can't produce any more resources in your storage. So what I recommend you do is send your excess resources to the guild bank, and then you would want to at least become a hyper of one of the different resources. So for me, I chose ore because ore is a really scarce resource, and I don't have the most of that in my bag anymore. So that's why I chose ore. I produce around 2 million ore an hour with talents set to ore production, which is really good, and it's very helpful, especially for your guild mates, because you can share, and even like if you wanted to sell resources to other people, which yes, that's a thing. People will pay like a good couple dollars for resources from this game. So it can actually be very beneficial in the real world to gather resources as well. But since you need resources for everything, like training troops, upgrading buildings, it's really useful to go out gathering and use all of your armies for gathering whenever you're online. That's exactly what I do. So I'm actually going to send an army out to this rich vein here. I'm going to look for another one. I recommend gathering level 4 tiles like this over here. Of course, I'm going to gather more ore because I really need it. But yeah, that's just a basic overview of gathering. You always want to be out gathering because your resources, you're not going to produce a lot of resources unless you're a heavy spender. You won't really have that many resources out, but you always want to be shielded whenever you have resources if you're a free-to-play player, because if people come, they can attack and take all of your resources. So I don't recommend staying unshielded or just sheltering and being unshielded, because there's so many disadvantages to just sheltering. So I recommend going out gathering whenever you can, and of course becoming a hyper of one of the resources. So just building a bunch of buildings for one of the different resources. So you can choose timber, food, stone. But if you do choose food, however, you want to make sure that your food production is a lot higher than your upkeep. So your upkeep is the food that your troops eat while you are just passively per hour. So you train more troops, the more upkeep you get. So you can click on your farm and you can see the upkeep you have. I have 45.7 million upkeep per hour. So there's no way I could ever be a food hyper unless I get the champion armor. I can't remember what it's called exactly. I'm gonna click here. Let's see, what's it called? This one, the champion plate. Unless I get the champion plate, there's absolutely no way that I will ever be able to become a food hyper. So I recommend focusing on one of these 3 resources over here, because becoming a gold hyper isn't really a thing. You can't really become a gold hyper. So I just recommend, focusing on these 3 resources over here. I recommend choosing ore, but of course that's up to you and whatever your needs are. So that was just a quick overview of gathering, and I will see you guys in the next video.